Never stops. Never stops does a turbo. Always watching his friends. Hey, what's up, garden friends? Jeff here. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm great. It is an absolutely beautiful day. The sun, I haven't seen it in such a long time. Look at the sky. Look at that cloud. That's a nice one. That's a nice cloud. I have sunglasses on too. Do you want to see it through the... There we go. This, with the sunglasses, it looks even better that way. Does that? Hey, I don't know what's going on this week. I just thought it was really nice out, so I picked up the camera and started recording. Okay, here's what's happening. I would like to get these two blue planters planted up. I think we'll talk about that when it's time. Just supposed to be rolling through what I would like to get done this week. And then I need to get this table cleaned up. It's Mother's Day weekend and have some birthdays and things going on. Remember, this all week prior to when this video comes out. Happy Mother's Day again to everybody out there. It's going to be family in town. So I need to get this handled. There are plants left on the table that I'm just going to start getting potted up. I have a couple of agaves back here that could use some new containers. A Sansevieria, one of the Fernwood Mikados, needs to be potted up. Some cute little cactus and succulents here. And I finally got, they don't look that hot, but I managed to find just a couple dwarf cattails. Been wanting these. I love the dwarf cattails. I think that they're an adorable palm plant. So, yeah, that's it. And this thing. The monstera keeps falling over. We get back to it at some point. Oh, and have a new plant to show. We can just start with that. Start with the peak. Why not? That's the smart way to do things. Well, it won't be the peak. It might be the peak. This thing's really nice. Look at that. Look at the trunk on this thing. It is only fair we talk about this now because I sort of left off last week's video with a teaser on it. This Adenidia palm is absolutely beautiful. I sat down to get comfortable and then realized that now it's backlit and you can't even see it. Maybe we should do this at another time. The heliconias aren't staying there. I would like to put those up in those blue planters up there. I think to really show this off, I need to get down here so you can see the trunk on this thing. It is a beast. This thing is huge. Look at that. From up here, I mean, I can't even come close to getting my hand around that thing. Maybe a fourth of the way around the base. They had some that were bigger than this. Oh, by the way, this is from a produce stand. A produce stand. It's called Andy's Produce. They're in House Springs. Bit of a drive from here. Like how instead of waiting for the plane to fly over, I thought I'd zoom in on it and keep talking. Like 35, 40 minutes. Not quite in the St. Louis area, just outside the St. Louis area. I've been going to Andy's for years, and they have really expanded. It's, you know, mostly fruits and vegetables. It's a produce stand, but they have expanded. They're basically a nursery during the summertime. And I pulled up, and they had a jaw-dropping selection of palms. I felt like I was in Florida. I haven't seen anything like it, even actually compared to most of the nurseries I've been to in Florida. They had the Adenidias, and I want to say 3 different sizes. They had the singles, doubles, triples. They had the really big Bismarckias and the Robollinis. You know, the things I expect to see this far north. The stuff that they send out to all the nurseries up here. This wasn't the largest of them. There were a couple others I was torn about getting. I really wanted to get the ones that were taller than this one. I mean taller, significantly taller. The base of the crown shaft being this whole smooth area here. It's the base of the leaf right here. That's the crown shaft. So the rings lead up to the crown shaft on the trunk. So everything down here, that's clear trunk. The other ones that were larger had about this much clear trunk on them. They were so much taller, but the trunks were skinny. And I love an Adenidia with a nice thick trunk. If you remember, you've been on the channel for a while, and if not, you're new, hey, thanks for showing up. Hope you're doing well. Don't forget to subscribe. A lot of people who watch aren't subscribed. Let's go ahead and just hit the button. Helps the channel a lot if you watch the videos and hit subscribe and like. The one I used to have was much larger than this. I had it for several years. Its crown shaft was probably about up here, and it had one of those really nice bulbous trunks on it. Similar to this, if that were to go all the way up and it was starting to get that swell where it's more of a soft gray appearance. You don't see that up north very often. Usually it's something you always see when they're in the ground down south in Florida, and that's, you know, not even all that common anymore. So that one was beautiful. The place that stores my palm trees, they killed it. They don't know what happened. Sometimes that just happens. The Adenidias are not the easiest to overwinter, even in a greenhouse. They only keep that greenhouse, I believe, at like 50, 55 degrees. And, you know, they told me that. So typically, if I send them an Adenidia, I'm like, yeah, okay. Hope I get to see you again, because they like it nice and warm. It was too big to fit in the house, so had to go off to the greenhouse. You know what I'm talking about? There's a greenhouse around here that stores people's plants when they get too big to go in the house. They replaced it, the one that died, with another single trunk that I just didn't like. I had it set over here in this corner last year, and I spent a lot of time throwing shade at that palm tree because it was just all foliage. Like, this part of the palm tree was all the way down here, and yet it was in a 25-gallon pot. And that's something I've talked about so many times ever since COVID, really since 2020, and the distributors, the growers needing to plant a ton of things, meet supply and demand. They've started taking really small palm trees and sticking them in great big pots. It's not how you used to do things. There are pros and cons to doing things that way, but for the last several years, palm trees have been very small at a higher price. Good example of one back here. This is what would normally be a 3-gallon Pindo back here that is in a what looks like a 12-gallon container. It doesn't need to be in a pot that big. Not for the purpose of sales anyways. You want to keep that long term. That's great. It'll be in that pot for a couple years. So, same size root mass and about not quite half the size, because the one they sent me was so nice and tall, but it just had the most pathetic trunk, and the trunk is what it's all about. All I cared about, ow, should have shoes on. If the fronds were all I cared about, just have Majesty palms out here. Just buy a few new ones every single year. I like the trunks. So I snatched this one up. It had the thickest, nicest trunk on it. I have been tempted to go back and get more, but I haven't. The other thing is that the price on these, phenomenal. 50% of what they would have been up here in the city and the county of St. Louis. I don't know if I should, people are going to get mad. It was about $200, which for context, these are generally about $400 at the nurseries up here. I've been seeing some for $280 to $350 that are smaller than this. They're usually triples. So, you know, it was around $200, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Leave some mystery there for you. And look at how tall. Oh, heck. This Japanese maple down there that's 5 to 6 feet tall is $300. This thing, it's taller than the first floor of the house. It's also in a container. It's only going to get taller because you need to repot it. That's something I should probably do in this video. That might be fun. I have a pot right here that just has an Atlas blue cedar sitting in it. This has been a winter container for a couple of years, and a couple little thuyas. Can pull these out and put that pot to good use. It'll help raise the adenity up. I mean, you gotta admit, it's beautiful, right? It's just a nice looking palm. You know, palms come in different grades. You have your A's, your B's, your C's. It goes about the foliage and the trunks. Is there any scarring? Is the trunk growth even? Does it have lots of dips and things? I've showed that before about how during the winter time with my palms, because they go inside, you can see where the trunk gets skinnier and then it gets fatter when they're outside and gets skinnier. That's not desirable, right? It's a nice grade. A good quality palm, and I love it. It's one of the nicest Adenidias I've ever gotten, for sure. In fact, ironically, the chair made a farty noise. It wasn't me. I swear it wasn't me. The next best palm trees, Adenidias, I have ever purchased were triple trunks from Lowe's, of all places. I love to support the local nurseries, but there was one year, probably 8 or 9 years ago, where they had triple trunk Adenidias that were, I think, the most beautiful ones I'd ever seen. They were in 15-gallon pots. They weren't very big, but the bases of their trunks were just massive. Absolutely massive. They had, you know, maybe a foot of trunk and then crown shaft on them. They weren't huge, but when you see them with a huge bulbous base down around the soil, that means you're going to end up with a nice looking plant typically, and they really were absolutely stunning palms. This is up there with those. The last several years, ones I've been seeing have just been really scrawny. I don't know if it's due to seed stock where the plants are getting started. I don't know, something's changed. But this one, it's just beautiful. It's making me happy. I love sitting out here right now with the hibiscus and the flowers and the water. I've got my Livastonus up here, my Chinensis, and then it's just a beautiful view when you're laying down here. Not right now because the sun would be blinding you if you didn't have sunglasses on. It looks nice, and let's see, I don't know, when does this video come out? I don't know, but I know the week of the 18th, which will be like the day after this video comes out, the big palm trees are supposed to be delivered, so things will be drastically different. In next week's video, I'm going to be doing a lot of rearranging, because in theory there'll be queen palms that go here and all those fun things. It's just, I love it. I think it's so pretty. Oh, hey, bee, where'd you go? It's a carpenter bee up in my grill. So that's the palm that I did this with it last week, and I was like, I'm not going to show it to you, but, you know, there it is. You could pretty much see it. May as well talk about it now instead of wait till later in the video. I don't want to have to try and hide this thing the whole time. It's freaking huge. And it was an adventure getting that thing home. Normally, what I do is I roll down the back window of the Sequoia and then load it in pot first with a really big plant like this. But the pot on this one's kind of wonky, so it wasn't going to fit. So I had to actually leave the hatch open. It was just cracked. Like, I don't know, like this. That's not, I don't know what I was trying to describe there. It was just up a little bit and the palm was sticking out underneath it. Wrapped up real tight, put some red cord on it, and then tied the hatch down. So, you know, there's probably about this much of a gap between the closure and the hatch being up there. And it was a 40-minute drive through some windy country roads. That was fun. It only stuck out like, I don't know, 8 feet behind the car. I've gotten some big palms in that car, but if you can't load them through the window, you can't get them in as far. It makes such a big difference being able to get them in through the window. And yeah, I mean, it's understandable, that pot's huge. Yeah. No, anyways, there it is. I love it. I love it so much. It's the closest thing I'm going to get to the palm that didn't make it a few winters ago at the greenhouse, because that one that they killed was probably my favorite Adenidia I've ever had. This one should be better. It has a more full crown. It has a thicker trunk. If I can get another foot of clear trunk on that this year and get it nice and full, then there shouldn't be any issues overwintering it for them. I don't know what happened. They said it had crown rot. They went to put on the cart and the entire crown just fell off, which I can see. I remember there were some issues with it from the get with that. I treated it several times, so you see in the shade. It's really sunny. Oh, you like the moss basket? That's a thing I did in last week's vlog, and I forgot to edit it into the video. I took the fuchsia and I potted it up into this nice moss basket. Super moss. It's like 12 bucks for that basket. I thought that was a great deal. Doesn't that look good? They look good together, right? Okay, all right, yeah. Like I said, there's the update on the palm. I'm actually waiting for a new camera to come in the mail at some point today. I'm going to have to get that set up and get my mics and everything working. Audio was a disaster last week, and for several videos that will be coming out in the future. Hopefully that all gets worked out. It's hard to film if I have to hold the camera in front of me so that the microphone is more clear. I like to use a wireless mic, so we'll pick up whenever that all happens. Okay, just gonna work our way through the table. I don't see a reason to declutter it until all of the planting is done. I don't really know where to start. I guess just need to grab the succulent mix that's down here. Just have a little bit of this left, not much. And it is absolutely sopping wet. Everything's sopping wet. I shouldn't repot this stuff into sopping wet soil. I don't think that'd be a good idea. Huh. Okay, I'm just gonna put this in there and let it dry out. I know I'm going to need more than what's left in there, so I may as well just add some regular potting mix in there. And then tomorrow, when this is dried out, I can add some sand and everything to the mix, because that stuff right there, it's great. Retains way too much moisture for succulents, though. I bet this is probably, oh, that's not too bad. Doesn't feel anywhere near as waterlogged as the cactus mix did. No, that's surprising. Must have been sitting at just the right angle. Here I was thinking I didn't have any dry mix to work with. That's not bad. Actually, I'm kind of wondering, maybe I should just use this, add some sand to it, and get on with things. No, I should use the cactus mix. I have it. I have nothing else to do with it. It's the only reason that I have it. So I should do that. Well, there's a lot of bark in this bag. Proven winners. That's embarrassing. You may have noticed last week I have a thing about bark being in my compost, in my potting mixes. It happens sometimes, though. Okay, so this, I'm just going to sit out and dry. And hopefully tomorrow it will be dry. Huh? Good. I like the quality. I think this is nice. New audio too. Trying out a new microphone. When I was using it was giving me a lot of trouble. This is much cheaper. The Hollyland microphones. I see a lot of people using them. Thought I'd give them a shot. The only thing I don't like is there's not much of a reliable indicator to let you know how your batteries are. So you could just be talking and then all of a sudden, boom, everything's going. And my other microphones, the Rhodes, those had backup recording in them, so never had to worry about losing what I was doing. That was a sloppy and incomplete thought because I quickly had to drop the camera and the bucket and sneeze. It came out of nowhere. It's the next morning. Need to get a bunch of sand to put in here and get all that stuff on the table, either planted up or moved, so I get that table cleared off, and then maybe get some more planters done. I just want to free up some space on the patio. Need to do a lot of decluttering. Oh, Jesus! I forgot he was out here. I haven't put away the nativity yet. The access to the attic was blocked off by the mule palms, and I had him sitting over here, and totally forgot that I'd scooted him over. Oh no, I'm gonna have to go get some more sand. The only place I can find around here that sells this grade of sand that I like is not close to home. They are kind of close to where Bay lives though, so that's kind of nice. We're on opposite sides of town, which you would think would be a pain in the butt when it comes to running errands. It's been really convenient because when they need things in my area, they just wait until we're going to see each other, and then the next time we see each other, if I need something in their area, then, you know, do it at that time, at their time. Once I try to say, oh, you guys, look at this. That is a big bloom. Wow. That is so pretty. It's the reminiscent coral. I was excited about this one. I've had it for months. Look at that color. It has a really warm, well, coral. The color would be coral on the inner petals. And that is a big flower. Huge. How does it smell? Have a sniff. Wow, smells very good. Smells like a rose. Tangerine skies are blooming too. I meant to do an update on these in the last vlog, and I completely forgot. I don't think they had anything opened on them. I said I'd show a bud, or maybe I edited that out. But there they are. Look at the size of these. And these are small. The ones that they had prior to this, flowers were gigantic. It's a really soft apricot. There's a hint of pink on the inside. Very subtle hint of pink. Tangerine, it's in the name. Why would I need to describe these things when they're giving them just the perfect names? It's just a color. Doesn't have to be complicated. Just go by the tag. Excuse you? Excuse you? We don't do that. What are you doing, Turbo? What were you doing? He doesn't ever... No, we're not going to start doing that, are we? I don't think so. Yeah, he knows. Such a good dog. Okay, so I have the sand here. And then the swell, which, you know, surprise, surprise, didn't dry up all that much overnight when it was 50 degrees outside. Shocking, I know. Okay, I have redistributed some things because despite this being a gigantic table, not a lot of room to work with because of all the little tools and pieces and trinkets, all the different things I've been doing out here. I think I'm done with the twine. And those can get put together. They're critter rafts. You put them, like, they hang on the edge of the pool, and then a piece goes into the pool, and they have a float. It's so that squirrels and birds and things have a option. They have something to help them get out of the pool with. Is there room up here for the potting tray? It's close. Close. I want to get that potting tray up here. It makes such a big difference to not... What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, just get dirt everywhere if you don't use it. Not using it makes a gigantic mess. Let's see, how damp is this still? Oh, that's not bad. That's not too bad. I can work with this, especially when you get that sand blended in there. Really shouldn't have to do, but since it is partially that Proven Winners mix, may as well have that added in here. Yeah, I'm gonna get this blended together, and then, I don't know, I'm just gonna start potting things up. Need to get these agaves over here repotted, and then I'll be putting together a small succulent arrangement of some kind. I wonder what he's barking at. Is there someone in my yard? Oh, it's windy. Wind check. How's the noise cancellation on this? Hopefully it's decent, because I don't have a muff on the microphone. All right, I gotta go check on something. Apparently somebody's here. All right, I should probably zoom through this all pretty fast, I would think, because there are a lot of plants over here. I would like to get them potted up sooner than later. Yeah, this doesn't feel too heavy, even though it is moist. Sorry for using the M word. I know that triggers an awful lot of people. I don't really know why, but I don't have to understand it to respect it. So, sorry. What to tell you, it's just hard to find other words to describe certain things that are going on with the plants. Oh, you're going to be stubborn? There we go. Got a catkin stuck in there. Don't need to put that down very far. A little gentle push. It's cute. Yeah. Knew this one was going to be trouble. I should go get the tongs so I don't end up with spines in my hands, but I just don't care enough to do that because this is the last of the cactus. I do have the agaves left, but the agaves, they're stretched out. You'll see them. So their spikes aren't all that bad, really. They're not too terrible. Pop this guy in here. Yeah, that's good. I like it. Should probably top dress it. Oh, what I should definitely do is backfill it. Forgot a pretty important step there. It's a good idea to not just have giant pockets around the plants that don't have any soil in them. Right? That's how things end up dead. And then just got some gravel on top. That looks nice. I think that cactus and succulents always look better if you're going to have a bunch of soil on the container. Do things where you can actually see it. That's the whole point of the tripod. To have the gravel, the top dressing. And then when I water this in, which will not be today because the soil is already moist, probably give that a few days. I'll water it in, and that's when I'll also go ahead and rinse the pot off. This looks nice. I don't know what everything is in here. Some sort of mammal area. I don't know, assorted cactus. And I do know what this one is. I love them and I grow a bunch of them, but the name escapes me right now. Why? It's a ripsalis of some kind. Just can't remember it. They're really cute. They form like a nice big bush and they'll trail over. Right? It's fun. Fun little succulent planter. I'm going to be keeping this one inside. Okay, need to do these agaves. It's a pretty sandy mix. I was wondering though if I should put some gravel in this for the agaves, which would mean that I should maybe save those for last. So I don't necessarily need gravel in the blend for everything else, but with the agaves, they tend to, I mean, these all want really good drainage, but the agaves, since the ones I have here, ones I'll be keeping out to some degree of colds, I really want to take it an extra step with the drainage. So I'll move on, do a little succulent arrangement or something, I guess. This is a cute planter. I love this planter. I've had that since I was a child. My dad had a heart attack when I was 13 or 14, something like that. And this was sent to the hospital by a friend of the family, the Jacobellis, that was their name. And it held on to this container ever since. It had a succulent arrangement in it, the kind that had like the, you know, the floral kind, stuff you get from a florist. Had the spray painted lichens and dried moss in it with a few cactus in it. Actually very similar to the arrangement I just did, but with those lichens tucked in there. And you know, I was a kid, so I was like, whoa, this is awesome. Look at all this bright, colorful stuff that's in here. I think that I would like to do maybe one of my fun sempervivums in here. I got in some really cool semps. Little collection of these guys. That Greg Surprise, the name on this one. I don't know if the video about these will have been out yet. I'm not certain. I really don't know. And I'm actually thinking I should probably put these in a larger bowl. So never mind, forget everything I just said. I'm just going to do assorted succulents in this one. Just going to pop a few in here and make it look nice. Lord knows I have plenty of them to work with, except most of the ones I have left to work with are, well, they're on the larger side. I really should probably only put a few into this pot. Do a Hawathoria there in the front. Do anything with any orange on it? I think that would look nice. No orange? I'm over here digging through things. I've got a chunk. Oh, this is too big though. Got a chunk right here. What are these? What are they called? Adolphi sedums. I'm just gonna pop that off and restart that. Make that work. Okay, yeah. That can go in the middle like that. Then we'll start piling the others around it. Like this guy right here. I don't know what this is. Came as an assortment. No bully bowl on it, but it has a nice texture to it, and I like its texture. I just gotta try my best with these to not rub my fingers all over them. That's the hardest part with them, I think, is not rubbing the powder off of them. I can probably get a few more in here. Really need to get something else over right here, right there. Does that seem uneven? Okay, I think that's pretty good. A little bit wonky, a little bit lopsided, but that's okay. They're succulents. They'll grow together. It'll look good in no time. You know, if I were thinking, and then I should have been doing these into containers, I'd be okay with giving away to people. That's okay. That's all right. The others. Well, I don't really have that many containers, actually, that are a nice shallow shape that I can just give away. In fact, I only have, I think, one other that's a smaller shallow container that I could use for giving away. I'm going to go look for more containers now. Oh, this will be good. Yeah, this is good. That'll work. I was looking everywhere for this one. Did I leave the I hope I didn't leave the... I think I did. The camera's on, isn't it? It's all right. I wasn't that far away. I was trying to find this the other day when I was doing a video where I was planting up some big succulent containers. Again, don't know if that video will have been out by now or not. And I couldn't find it. And it was literally, it was sitting right there out in the open. I should not have had any issues finding this. I actually wonder if... I don't know. I don't think I'm going to have quite enough soil for this. This is a large container. This is large enough to be able to finish off the rest of these, with the exception of some of the specialized succulents, specialty sempervivums, and some others that I had back there. Should be able to get them all in here, I would think. Okay. One thing I don't like about this container is that the front is higher than the back, so it's pretty much impossible to get a trailer to come over the sides. Why? What a dumb design. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's still so much lip here. Look at how much height there is left right there compared to the back. That's just nuts. It's hard to find a good clamshell planter. This one is beautiful. I love the patina that it has on it, if that's what you would call this. It used to be more of a patina. It's faded some. I had a faux patina. But they never make them right. Like, I have one where the whole thing is tilted like this. Dumb design. This one, things are too high in the front. I think my other one, no, my really big one I'm looking at right now, really big one's okay. Is this going to be okay? Yeah, it'll be fine. It's going to be fine. I'm going to plant this up and come back. It would take way too long to do this on camera. Oh, I feel weird doing that. I can't just start and then not have you all along for some of it. At least for some of the more exciting parts. Going to get this sedum in here. And when things are high in the front like this, the only option is I'm going to have to mound the soil up pretty high in the middle. And I don't know if I have enough of this mix to do that. So everything's going to have to come up like a bowl. That's the main reason I turned the camera back on, was because I thought I should probably talk about that. That's how I'm going to do things. See what I'm saying? So I'm going to be planting up like into a mound so that things can spill over the front. I shouldn't have to do that. That's dumb. Should probably also talk about that if I know a certain plant's going to get larger, I'm trying to work those in the front, or I should say the top of the mound. I believe, could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the Neon Breakers Echeverria. This one right here looks like a topsy-turvy. These tend to get nice and wide. They'll spread some. Start with the bigger things, then work my way down. I started poking at a few little things. Shouldn't have done that. You just always want to go bigger and work your way down, and then fill in with little things is the last step. Okay, it's done. Are you ready? Oh, I did end up... We'll just show it to you first. There it is. Look. Voila. Huh? I mean, considering I was working with the scraps from a nice shipment of plants, what was left were mostly scraps and a blend of some of the hardier things. I had a couple that were rotted out. I told you we had a lot of rain. They've been sitting under an umbrella, but still got to some of them. Have the Burrow's tails there in the front, and then the rest of them are assorted. I don't have names for any of them. Like I mentioned, I think I mentioned, pretty sure that's a topsy-turvy right here. I think this one right here. Can you see it? No, because the tripod's not on it. Topsy-turvy. Can't remember its name. Maybe a Neon Breakers. I have some sempervivums in here as well. This is one of the cobweb type ones. You can sort of see it over there. And then another sempervivum, this little succulent over here. I'll just bring the camera around so you can get a better look at everything. I think it looks better from the front. That's the entire point. Well, I got it mounted up as best as I could. I didn't want to have a lot of issues watering this where everything was just going to be rushing out one direction or the other. Probably could have mounted it a little further towards the back, but I figure everything's going to plump out and grow, so that doesn't really matter. I tried to leave more space around these sempervivums and the sedums, the hardier yeah, the hardier. It's just like my voice stopped working. Anything that I'm going to be leaving out during the winter, I want to have some more space. So that one has some more space. I guess this one right here doesn't really have much space to it, but you know, I tried. And over here and in the back, right here in the back, sedums, and they'll have some more room to spread out. And then the rest, I guess they'll just die in the winter time. I'm not likely to bring this one inside. I have another one that I will show you when I'm done cleaning up the table that will be coming inside, but this one, these are pretty much just scraps from a larger order that I placed to do some other planters. And it's great. I ended up using everything. And like I said, I did pull the ones out of this container. Because there's some other things I would probably prefer to put in that. And I needed more color in this. Needed a lot more. Getting the extra piece of orange in here because it just had the one in the middle. Needed one on the side. If I see another one, I might grab it at the store and poke it in over here and just try and get some more contrast in there. And I did top dress, so there's gravel, lots and lots of gravel. It's good. That's done. All of the small succulents, with the exception of my special succulents that I want to have in their own special containers, is done. This is everything. Look at that. That's a lot of plants right there in this whole tube right there. Okay, I'm gonna go find a place to put this and reset to get the rest of the things done. Okay. I was thinking with this one, getting pretty low on soil here, so I need to mix up some more. But this would be a nice container to have that Fernwood Mikado in. I'm gonna scoop up a bunch of soil here, bring over into the mix. And I went around to the garage and got some more sand and some small chipped lava. It's gonna be blending that in here. Make a nice coarse mix. Keep it simple. Doesn't need to be much to it. Just needs to drain really, really well. I probably should have done the gravel for the others as well, but I didn't. And most of those are succulents that are pretty tough. Oh, that orange one. That's the Adelphi Sunset Sedum. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. So this Sansevieria, not looking great, because it fell out of the container and it was sitting on the driveway and I found it behind a bunch of pots. So this guy has been baking in the sun and also experiencing some pretty frigid frickin' temperatures at the same time. We've had days in the 80s and we've had days in the 30s since this would have been out here. So it's seen better days. I think getting into a fresh mix that has some room to fill out here at the Fernwood Mikado Sansevierias, they just look like really big, thick blades of grass. They'll fill out this entire thing fairly quickly too. I would say it's, as far as the Sansevierias go, it's a fast grower. Like I said, that's as far as Sansevierias are concerned, it's a fast grower. There we go. Yeah, I like that because it's a container that I will want in and out of the house. Like I said, it has kind of a sentimental attachment to it, and also, I mean, there's like some scary memories, sad memories attached to it. But well, it's not that I should have mentioned the heart attack. He's okay. He survived. I should have said that. And I think I basically said that this was sent to him and to the family as like a get well gift at the hospital, but probably should have clarified that. Yeah. Okay. Good. Plant itself doesn't look amazing, but it will come around, especially this time of year. As far as everything else goes, I think I'm just going to do it without talking through it. It'll take an attorney to talk through everything, and then see what's going on when I'm done. We'll talk about it. Whew. That was a lot. Oh, it doesn't look like much right here, but remember, I already took the big planters, the clamshell and some other things, and put them away. This is all that was left, and I'm pretty happy with this. I was hoping to put this variegated geranium in just a regular terracotta, but I wanted to use the regular terracotta clay pot for this agave back here. This is the Perii Giant Grandkids, and it's a hardy one, all the way down to 5B. There's always a catch with that though. Got to keep them dry. Very important that these stay dry during the winter time. This needed to be in something that could be outside, right? That's a Talavera planter, this one. That one, I thought you'd be able to see it sooner. That shouldn't stay outside during the winter. Even though I don't plan on leaving this out for very much of the winter, it will be out for part of it. I don't want that out here because it could crack. In here I have a couple of Semponiums, which are a very interesting new hybrid. These are a cross between a Sempervivum and an Aeonium. These will have been in a video that I will have made sure it came out before this one, just so that we can, anybody who's asking about the succulents or wondering where these all came from, y'all will know. It's Mountain Crest plant haul. And this is another agave. It's an ovatifolia. Had a rough winter. I should have repotted it earlier before I took it inside, but I didn't. So removed a lot of its old foliage, put it in a nice shallow container, well-drained mix. That should do plenty of growing this year and start to look a lot better. You already saw that one back there. And I was going to put the geranium in here, but I thought about those plants I got from Select Seeds, and I wanted to put, did the catkin leave a stain on this thing? Do you see that? Looks like I think that might scratch off, maybe. Okay, good, that was scratch off, sorry. Didn't want anything to happen to this. This is supposed to be a Mother's Day gift, actually. And I thought about putting succulents in it, but instead I put this fuchsia in here. It's called Giant Orange, which was from that Select Seed haul. If you watched that, that would have been over a week ago. It's a short video, so go check it out if you don't know. Really unusual fuchsia. It has a large, poofy shaped flower that has an orangish hue to the outer petals and a pinkish red hue to the inside. It's not something you see very often. It's not one of the Triphylla types or the Gartenmeister types where they have a long tubular flower. It's that nice full poof, very heavily petaled. It goes 10 inches high by 10 inches wide, so I thought, well, that actually might be a good shape for right here, and I think those colors would go nicely with the cat. So that is that. The table looking much better. Now I just gotta clean up the mess, put away the tools, and the table is done. All right, it ain't perfect, but vast improvement. I still have some little planters and things and keep finding scraps need to be cleaned up. Got a bucket of stuff that needs to go out to the recycling. But otherwise, this is pretty dang good. It's going to be a few days till anybody's out here using this, so I still have, you know, like my box cutters, and there's a lighter for the torches and those things. Got the planter put in here. Doubt that video will have been out by now, but if it has, well, there it is. An umbrella planter that I put together for the table with all the succulents. So many succulents. Aren't they beautiful? Okay, hey, new camera zoom. That's pretty dang good. Look at how it focuses so well, and that has that background blurred. Precisely blurred. All right. Yeah, I like it. That's great. Cinematic and fancy. I've moved on to other things. I was working on the critter ramp. This is a stupid design. Nobody makes these intelligently. This one over there, it's illogical. I'm sending that one back. It's stupid. This one seemed really good, but the only thing to keep it from floating away in the pool is this small bag. It should, like, why not make it larger than that? I don't, maybe that'd be a tripping hazard. Do you think that has something to do with it? I don't know. It just seems like a pretty dumb design, which none of this may make any sense at all if you don't really understand how these things work. And I've never tried one quite like this, but the way it works is you just do that. But that's backwards. No, you don't do it like that. You do it like this. Yeah. All right. I think that should do it. A nice wide spot for animals to get up on, a little ramp for them to crawl out. I don't know. I still think that beanbag, that should have been a lot bigger. It is what it is. It's fine. I have been watering out here so much in between shots, just picking up the hose and watering. And now there's just like a cloud of pollen in my lungs, which has happened. Corner over here with a lot of the new stuff in it, need to water those in. And I would like to finish tidying this or make a dent. What I need to do is get that freaking green stalk put together. I was still waiting on some of the plants. I wanted to put a bunch of the tomatoes and the peppers and things that I had up in the Arrow Gardens, the countertop gardens. I wanted to use those in there. That's gonna be a big project getting them out, so I haven't gotten around to doing that quite yet. Incredibles. Jeez, these things, they just keep blowing right over. The plan was to have these Incredible, or stormproof Incredibles, I should say, over here, because I thought the gingers were done, but there they are. They came back. So I don't know. May have to figure something out. Maybe the other one will go right here in this spot. That might be better. No, actually, that's enough for right now. This took a very, very, very long time. I haven't picked this guy up yet because I want another person worried that the stem's going to snap. I do it by myself. I want somebody to hold the pot, and then somebody else will hold the top. I'm just going to have to circle back to this. The sun's really strong right now, and it's kind of getting on my nerves. The gnats are really bad, so we'll come back to this in a few hours or in a couple days. I don't know. I don't think anything drastic's going to happen right here, just some tidying, and hopefully I'll have that green stalk planted up and out of here. Subtle. Very subtle, Turbo. You got all kinds of gunk on your face. Is it time for another bath? Yeah, it's time for another bath. Okay, I'm back. I almost said, hey, what's up, garden friends? Why? Don't really know why. Been one of those days. A long day. All right. I managed to get some more stuff cleaned up over here. Man, the focus on this is quick. That is fast. This thing really makes my hands look dry. I guess they are a little bit dry. I just washed them. Yeah, making some progress over here. And I'm really glad I cleared off the table because it gave me room to put more things on the table. I love how that works out, right? Oh, I had to get that green stalk taken care of. So I put it together. I'm going to have to add some soil to it. I was running low on soil that wasn't sopping wet. So I just went ahead and filled up some of the chambers, gave it a good water, and then what's in these are things that were in the house that really need to get moved out of these. So I'm not going to do this right now. This will probably be in a separate video, but I'll come in and have to heavily prune back the tomatoes and, you know, cut them into basically sticks and restart them in here. And there should be plenty of chambers left to do that with. Just glad to have that done. I enjoy the green stalks. Setting them up is kind of annoying though. It's just messy. It's so much soil, but it's a good time at the same time. So that freed up some space here. I forgot that I have these to actually put in the green stalk. I can move these over. I'm not going to put them in there right now, but I did want to get these put in here with the tomatoes. Yeah, I was watching or editing the hibiscus care video that was from, you know, August, I think, last year. And this was all neat and tidy, and I can't give it another day. I can't do it. Got to get in here. I'm not going to come in and power wash it right now. We're supposed to have a whole bunch more rain, so there's not a lot of point. Everything's wet right now, but at the very least, can just get things moved. I want my spaces back. I do not like having stuff scattered all about. So, annuals that aren't ready to be planted up yet, which is pretty much all of them. I'm gonna put them there in the tortoise garden with the vinca, and then maybe start working on these containers. I have the plants for them. Well, I have some of the plants for them. We don't have to do it all in one swoop. That is generally how I like to do things on YouTube. It's more fun that way, but it's also, you know, not realistic. It's not what most of us do when we're planting things up. I was hoping to come in here and get some more of these guys potted up, but there just isn't time. Not right now. I need to take care of the big picture, and then can get back to basics once things are looking better. Oh, I feel so exposed. Forgot that one of the reasons that I had everything up here was because it added some nice privacy. I can see everything back there now, and I don't like it. It's right through there. You can see the neighbor's house. There's a trellis right there. Should put a vine on there of some sort. Look at, it's opened. I know, lots of dirt back there. You saw the stuff that was there collecting clutter. That's how that goes. You got a bunch of junk piled up. Dirt fills in around it. I'm not going to bother cleaning the dirt up just yet. So that would be satisfying, because I do think I would like to go ahead and get these planters handled. Oh, I really shouldn't though, because all my soil's sopping wet. But I really want to. I want to get these yews out of here. Another thing I noticed when I was watching back that hibiscus video from last summer was how much I dislike the yews in these two planters. I don't mind them in the ones in the back. These back here, great, love it. In the front, no, I don't care for it. I have some heliconias to go in them. They're not looking great. What happened? Well, they showed up, looked good. Next day, it looked like this. I gave them a drink when they showed up. Soil's moist. They've had plenty of water. It's like they've never experienced cool temperatures before. That did get down to 49 and 48. Those two different nights. So maybe that just shocked them. I have no idea. This is what they typically look like when it's cold. But by cold, I mean, you know, below 40. That's when my helis usually start to do this. Or maybe they haven't been out in the sun before. Maybe they were in a shade house of some kind, so they just shocked. I really don't know. Disappointed in that. Don't understand that. They're from Nature's Way. Well, technically they're from Lowe's, shipped through Nature's Way. And I've ordered from them before. Not a huge fan of the company, but I have gotten heliconias from them before, and they were always fine. So I don't know. Don't know. It seems very odd. Why am I pulling everything out as if I'm about to do this when I just said that I know that I should not be doing this? I just think that they would be so much happier if I got them potted up into something else. I should probably wait on pulling these U's out too until I'm ready to... They're going to go up here on the hill, but I'm waiting for the new drill to come in to use with the auger. There's not a chance in heck I'm going to try and dig up there by hand. It's a nightmare. At least have that new auger to help loosen things up. That would be nice. Yeah, I should probably hold off on this, because I would imagine this is going to be one awkward root ball too, isn't it? Like, real strange. This has been in there for about 3 years, so it's going to be a great big rectangle. Okay, well, maybe that'll be a weekend project. There'll be other people around. Some of these things, I cannot believe how heavy these are. Very, very, very heavy planters. I swore when I put them up here, like, I'm never taking those down. They're never moving again. So, yeah, okay, maybe that'll be a group activity for the weekend. Maybe at some point in this video, we'll come back and those will be done. I'm not going to plant them up fully. I just wanted to put a heliconia in place of the U's. I think they'll look nice. Even though the heliconias aren't looking all that hot right now, I still think it would look nice. All right, all that's left is this pile over here. I took all the annuals and a few perennials, shrubbery, and put them all back here together. So I have an area that I can go to. It's gonna make watering them a lot easier, and I will not have to wander around, meander, picking things out. If it needs to be repotted or to be used for an annual, or just it needs to be planted, it's over there. Except for these things right here. I haven't gotten to this spot yet. You might be wondering, Jeff, why don't you just plant them up? I told you, I'm waiting for the new bit. Or not the new bit, the new drill. I'm gonna just have a heyday when that thing gets here. Planting all kinds of stuff. Are you dry? I watered you a few hours ago. I brought the lutea out here. This overwintered in the grow space, the garage. Looks pretty good. This had full dieback from the main stem, but put up all this new stuff. And then the lime zinger xanthosoma had some spider mites on it. So I went ahead and just cut off all the foliage and washed it off with soap. I didn't want to bring that out here. There's some spider mites in the grow space right now. I've been spraying, but I was just like, these things, they grow so quickly, just cut it off. Don't bring it back here. This will be flush out with new stuff in no time. Especially if it ever warms up. I think next week, which will be several days prior to when this video comes out, we should be having days where the temperatures are about 80 to 85, but right now we're in a cold front. I think Tuesday maybe it's supposed to be 48 is the low, and then the next day the high is 84, and it's supposed to warm back. I don't know, that's the way things are in spring. Okay, it changed my mind. I couldn't take it. I wanted to do it. It's not planted up. I just wanted to get it done and get it out of there. Doesn't this look so nice? It's beautiful, right? Oh, what can you do? I don't really know. I don't know what the deal is here. Usually pretty good with the heliconias. They just looked like this about 24 hours after unpacking them. Maybe I should have put them into the shade. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. Maybe it was more like 48 hours afterwards. I don't think they looked quite this bad immediately the next day. I don't know. There's no foul odor coming from inside the container. It's not sopping wet. I'm really not sure. What I do know is I need to stop messing with it. Stop moving them around. So that was not that hard to get out of there. I had to get it with the root slayer and then take the hori cut around the root ball, but I got it out. In other news, I got in a bunch of plants, three shrubs from Lowe's, same place I ordered those heliconias from. The Florida Sunshine. Got these bugs. Keep flying right into my face. The Elysiums. I've wanted these for years, but they never sell them up here. I don't know why, because they're supposed to be good to zone 6, according to Lowe's. Or not Lowe's, Plant Delights, they were the people who started this one. What do they say on the hardiness on the tag? I don't see a number. They're saying zone 7 on here. Regardless, this is 7A. So, I mean, it's really 6B, but it's really 7A. It's what it's been reclassified as, but I don't buy it. I'm saying 6B. So I ordered these because nobody ever sells them. They're a good size. I see them for sale sometimes online in small pots for a lot of money. I don't know why. I just have to say, up there is some of the worst shipping I've ever gotten on plants. And I don't think Lowe's packs them up there themselves. I'll have to look at the package and see where they shipped out of. This one didn't, right here. There's no plastic. So the plastic bag, none on there. And I am not a stickler about this. If you watch my unboxing videos, there can be some spilt soil, some broken branches, and I usually just say, oh, well, that's okay. This thing, I've added soil back into it. But, I mean, it's just not in great shape. And this is after I added some, I need to put more soil in, clearly. There's no bag, so I open the box and just dirt everywhere. And there are no stakes in these either, which I don't see very often with plants these days. Usually there's a stake. So there was a lot of stuff broken off of the tops of these. I think it was mainly this one had a bunch of broken stuff because there wasn't a piece of bamboo in there to keep them from, you know, moving around. They have the little cardboard clippy things in the boxes help keep from moving around, but that's not enough. You got to put a stake in there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to show you guys the address label because it has my address on there, but it just says Lowe's Company, Inc. Oh, that's pretty bad. If I were Lowe's, I'd be embarrassed by that. Do better, Lowe's. Real preachy there. I guess I'll go ahead and take apart the other one. May as well. Really, this is something I should wait on doing until it was time to go ahead and plant these in the ground, but I didn't want to. No good reason, just didn't want to. In part, I would like to get this cleaned up sometime in the next few days before Mother's Day. And I don't want to make a huge mess again afterwards, which is what happens when you try and remove shrubbery from containers. You make a mess, and these things are heavy. I'm not moving if I don't have to. I think I already said that. I did. Yes, I said that. Very heavy. Don't want to relocate them or have to pull them and set them somewhere. I know I talked about that just a few minutes ago about how it's going to be a group project. It doesn't have to. I was able to cut around that root ball. Get a nice size of the root out. That's the main thing, is get a nice size of the root mass out. And it's not so bad. And they're going to be planted up into shade. So that's going to help with the whole process of them having to reestablish their roots. And our forecast is pretty overcast. Lots of overcast, cooler temperatures for the next several days. Like I mentioned, would you just stand up? I want to stand up. There you go. Pretty sure I mentioned that it's supposed to warm up just a few days before this video comes out, but prior to that, things are pretty cool. Okay. Oh, you're rooted down there. I need to get these into the landscape. Make sure to set them over with the perennials. Just put that right there for now. And this really needed to be done anyways because, well, one, you see that? That's not great. This shouldn't look like that. These are getting larger. They're filling out the containers. It's harder to get stuff planted in there around them now. And they've been in that same soil for about 3 years now. It's getting kind of mucky and icky. And I figure if we have another bad winter, I mean, we're due for one. Because the last winter was, I'd say it was pretty mild. I don't think we drop below 0. But if we start to have some winters where things are getting cool and wet and we do drop below 0 and a big old thing of ice, I just don't think the plant would be very happy. It's a U. These are good to zone 4, I'm pretty sure. I think zone 4. They could probably take it. You know what I mean. The soil's getting mucky, and if the soil's getting mucky, then they would be better off being moved to, I don't know, you know, somewhere else. That landed right on top of the grill. That's fine. I'll clean it up later. All right, that's going to have to do it. I got the rest of the stuff cleaned up that was sitting over there, and I just started tucking things in. The things I'm hoping will be planted sooner than later, like this Lismachia, you want to say Midori Sour, Frog in a Blender, Caladiums, awesome foliage. Beautiful leaves on those. I want those in these planters. We're just set them up there and let them stay with the heliconias. How embarrassing. There's a new shipment of them coming in tomorrow. Maybe we'll have better luck with those. I don't know. I ordered those basically a day after, maybe 2 days after I had unpacked these, and these were still looking good. These were packaged well. So I think that it's just a matter of complete and total shock would be my guess. They must have been in a really hot greenhouse or hoop house of some kind in North Carolina, and it just, I think the core temperatures must have just shocked them. When the foliage gets like this though, and it starts to brown up and yellow, that's pretty much it for it. So it is possible that these, not completely, but I do think that a good chunk of these are going to be cut back and have to start them over. Not thrilled about that. Is what it is though. That's what happened. Things are supposed to warm up. Like I mentioned, once things warm up, boom, the heliconias will start growing wonderfully. See this one over here, this one's fine. Totally fine. Got some curl on the leaf, but not much. And then all the ones down here, looking fine. Yeah, I think that they've got some scorch on them. because there's a lot of sun over here, and the sun is extremely strong this time of year. It'll cook them, but that's temporary. In a few weeks, it'll lighten up, and they'll adjust to the sun. The Hellies, they can take the full sun. They just probably have never had it before, so, but they look okay. So the other ones, I don't know. Those are in the ground too, right? Things in the ground aren't as affected by shock as much, as long as their roots haven't been disturbed all that much. Look at how much better this looks. I know the top is full of stuff again, but that's just the way it had to go. I'm hoping, really hoping, that this weekend the new drill will come in and then I can get these into the ground, and then maybe get moving on some other things. I don't know. Need the soil to dry out before I can really get these planted up. And I don't think I want to put these into these containers. These may end up stuck in the landscape somewhere. I don't know. Just have to wait and see. Have a few more things back on the table now. Really good thing I made room for everything, right? That's because these are mostly succulents up here, or the dianthus. Not a succulent, but it's going to be the same idea here. These were very wet. As I've mentioned over and over again, we have had a ton of rain lately, which is great. We really will benefit from that. There have been some springs last spring and the spring before where we were basically in a drought. So this has been nice. In fact, today when I had to water, I was like, oh, what is this? This is awful. I used to enjoy watering, but there's a lot of stuff out here now. That's why I like to get things in the ground. The sooner they get in the ground, the less you have to worry about watering them, at least not as frequently, right? Things in containers, you have to be more on top of it. I just didn't want these to go through any more moisture, because this rained for off and on for I think 2 or 3 days here. So I went ahead and just stuck these up here underneath the umbrella, and I actually intended on planting these 3 up with some of the planters I did today. So I'll probably stick those into those at some point, into the planters I did today. And this one right here, not a succulent, it's a begonia, but it was getting way too much sun. And it got snaps, and I thought, okay, let me stick you over here under the umbrella. Let that hang out and be a safe space for now. Yeah, okay. I'm good. I'm satisfied. This was nice. Extremely productive few hours. What you barking at, huh? Turbs? What is it? Little lawnmower? Since when do you bark at lawnmowers? You never care about lawnmowers. What's your deal? I know, lots of fun smells. Speaking of good smells, these Florida Sunshines, they smell great. It's kind of like licorice, or is that something else I was smelling? Y'all let me know. So I can't really tell if it was the plant or something in the vicinity of the plants, but I don't recall things smelling like licorice out here. Maybe that's normal. With the Elysiums, I've only ever been able to grow them, or find them for sale, I should say, usually in about a 4-inch container. And that's just too small for them to make it through their first winters. So every time I get them, they never make it through the first winter. That's why I was trying to find them in these larger sizes. I was really excited when I saw that, Prudent Winter, Southern Living was carrying these. That meant they'll be able to get them in a larger container, have some more girth and bulk on the bark, and then they should have better survivability, right? That's the entire idea here. That zoom's not too bad. Is that too much? No, that's not too much. A little bit pixelated, considering it's not very bright out. I'm not mad at it. They'll have a better chance at surviving the winter with a more caliper on the stem, as opposed to just the first little baby piece of growth that's coming up out of a 4-inch container. They've never done well. So I'm really excited about those. No, they didn't ship very well. They'll be fine. I was just really surprised to see no bag and no stakes. Thought that was odd. All right, I could wrap this video up, but I'm not going to. But I cannot guarantee that when I come back that anything substantial is going to be happening. So like I said, it's going to rain for a few days, and then Mother's Day weekend, a bunch of other things are going to be happening. I doubt much else will be happening, but hopefully things will be tidied some more. That'd be great. And the new heliconias will be here. Let's see what those look like after they've had a few days to sit around. Yeah, oh, the green stalk. I need to get this put away. I don't want that just sitting out in the middle of the patio. You're great to have around for transitions, Turbo. I feel like all the transitions, it's because Turbo's sitting around being cute, standing around, being a weirdo, obsessive, dog being a dog. Hey, with this guy, had him upstairs in the guest bathroom. This is my Potato, Lonky, from Plant Delights, which was just a little thing a couple years ago. This is the one that gets very big. What does it say on here? 12 by 18. I mean, that's a decent size. I think Lonky is ready for a repot. Not doing that right now. But, you know, there's no safe place to grab the container anymore, right? It's just spines everywhere. Well, I thought you wanted to go out. Why are you just laying there in front of me? being a speed bump. I'm not walking over you. That's not smart. Do you have dogs? You know what I'm talking about, where you step over the dog and sometimes the dog stands up and then you go down? That might be more of a big dog, supersized turbo thing. He's pretty tall. Had a whole bunch of rain the last couple of days and it was beautiful. I was bored because it was stuck in the house, but it was still nice. Very clean and refreshing. I think I've said it multiple times. It's supposed to be very warm middle of next week, which is several days ago for you all. So I'm trying to enjoy that crisp weather while I can. Look at how great the Temple of Bloom is looking. This Heptacodium is just a rock star. Took some patience. I remember last year I was about ready to pull this thing out. This is requiring a lot of pruning. It's pretty tedious getting it worked into this shape. It wanted to be a bush, and I said, I don't think so. You're going to be a tree, dang it. And now, here we are. It's a tree. Could still use some cleaning, maybe a little more limbing up. I have to do this throughout this season. Have to go and do a whole bunch of pruning on it to get the shape just right. But it's almost right about to the size that I wanted it. Just, maybe another 4 feet up, and then I'll start thinning out the inside so you can see through the window again. It's actually, it's looking like a cute little tree now. Anyways, not much has happened, because like I said, it's been raining. The sun just came out a few minutes ago, and I was like, oh no, I gotta get outside. Need to look at things. Like, nothing will have changed. Still gonna be mud everywhere. These guys are still just looking like absolute garbage. I'm thinking it had to have been shock. Heliconias, if it's not warm, they don't take up any water. And I think that 49-degree night they had, their second night being here, just sent them into a tizzy. It's alright, there's more on the way. It's disappointing, but it is what it is. I did pop by a nursery, and one of these things happened. One of these things, I got a new palm tree. It's sitting right next to the other one. They've sold these, the nursery I was at, have had these since, I think, 2020. They had a whole bunch of them. And every time I looked at them, I was just like, this is stupid. I don't think I went to this nursery at all last year. If I did, it wasn't palm tree season. It's probably houseplant winter time. And yeah, it seems ridiculous to me to put 6 foxtail palms in one container. Just nutty. Especially when they were a third the size, and they didn't change the price on them. So I was like, when they were a third the size? Absolutely not. That looks stupid. But now, they have some size on them, and the trunks and everything, and they caught my eye, and I had to get it. Because it's such a nice, fun, unique shape. There's a lot of cleaning up that needs to be done on this trunk tray, but you can't have that. I usually give those to him, but I don't, no, you're going to have to leave that. Get back. I don't know what kind of pesticides or anything they've used in there, so can't have them unless they've been grown out here in the garden, Turbo. Sorry. And it's very satisfying having all these old leaf bases to pull off. Like, look at this one. It's coming up all the way from down there. It was huge. I think this one, yeah, this one's ready to come off too. We're exposing all kinds of trunk on this thing. Are you ready to come? Well, that one's not really ready to come off, but I already accidentally loosened it, so it's going to come off. It would have been ready in a few days. All right, and then this one right here, that's going to be satisfying. Oh, that one's actually still on there. Huh. Well, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't still be on there. Usually foxtails are self-cleaning, but it's a weird one. Gosh, I don't think I've ever been able to pull this many off of one plant at a time in a single go. Oh, it's so fun. All right, this is it. That's the last one. It's ready to go. It's fully detached. It's just, these are they're not desiccated. But here's the deal. When you have this many in one pot, they grow much smaller because they're crammed. I don't necessarily think that's the best thing for the plant, but it is very nice and convenient for those of us with ceiling heights and want to be able to keep something that looks like a really nice, beautiful, mature palm tree in the house for several years. See, these have started to, I don't want to say a mature canopy, because foxtails don't necessarily, well, that's a whole different thing. Some palm trees display a different canopy when they're in more of a juvenile stage than they do when they're maturing. Adenidias, when they're a lot smaller, the spacing between fronds usually a lot further and stuff like that, temporarily, unless they're going to like blazing sun. Foxtails, it pretty much stays the same. But the main thing is that this is, I'd say if it weren't in the container, it's probably 6 feet tall. Maybe 7 in the container. And that to me just screamed, you have to get it. One, because I love all the trunks. I love all the canes. That is beautiful. And because this is going to be so easy to get in and out of the house during the winter time. And foxtails are typically a very simple palm to overwinter in the house. Typically. If they get spider mites on them, they can be a nightmare, and they are prone to spider mites. But usually I just let them stay more on the dry side. Probably water them 3 times a month, if even. And that's about it. They need nice bright light, but it doesn't have to be anything crazy and intense, because foxtails, one of the things that's really nice about them is that they can grow and thrive in full blazing sun, like a lot of the palm trees we see for sale most commonly. But they also can take some shade, especially when they're smaller. That's really nice. They can also take a lot more sun when they're smaller. So a lot of palm trees don't like a lot of sun when they're juveniles. These guys, they don't usually care, at least not once they're a few feet tall and have a few mature fronds on them. But because of that ability to take some part sun does affect their growth habit. They're usually easier to keep in the house than, say, like an Adonidia. Though that's, I mean, not saying much. Low bar there. Adonidia suck to keep inside unless you have some really great windows and nice humidity. Or maybe an affinity for having lots of grow lights around. I don't know. I've just always had much better luck with the foxtails. Much more simple. I'm going to need to repot it. I think this is a 12-gallon container. And there's about, like I said, 6 or 7 feet. Yeah, this trunk over here is probably 7 feet. So this is long and skinny. I also thought this was fascinating about how when you take all these plants and you stick them close together, they adjust their growth habit to accommodate for each other. Is that ideal for the plant's health? I don't know. Probably not, but it seems fine. And what a nice looking house plant this is going to be. This form on this is so unusual that I spent some time online trying to research if there are other palms with this heavy of bifurcation, the split in the fronds up here in the pinnae. And there really aren't many, not that I could find. This reminds me a lot of they call them baby queen palms. They were really popular for a few years. The plant industry was really trying to push them on people. I'd say around, I don't know, early 2000s probably. But, I don't know, they never took off. I don't know why. They're actually a Chemoduria. Plumosa is the name on those. This is not that. It's a foxtail. It has every characteristic of a foxtail, just a very odd and unusual growth habit for a foxtail, or for several foxtails, because they have to share their space. And I'm okay with the way it turns out. They just look awesome. Now you can really see the girth on this Adonidia. You seeing how thick it is? You get it now? Thing's a beast. I'm happy. I love it. I have the perfect spot for it too. Right here. I'll move that fan eventually, but in this big blue square pot right here that this Chinese fan palm's in, I think that'd be perfect. It's the same pot that the Areca palm's in. We need to clear these spaces out so you can actually see those beautiful containers. It makes more sense than the Chinese fan palm. The Chinese fan palm, it goes over and spreads up by the grill. They're pokey. I didn't really want that there. I just set that there so it stopped tipping over. I have a different spot where I wanted that to go. And I think that having the multi-trunk is going to look nice with the Areca. I'm not getting another Areca palm. I'm just not going to do it. It would take years for whatever one I find to grow up to look like this one. I couldn't buy one this big. One, I never see them for sale up here, ever, at this size. Or when I say this size, I mean this much clear trunk. Sometimes they'll have the same height, but nowhere near as much trunk. The crown shelf will be down much lower. So I'd have to get it probably a 7-gallon, maybe a 15-gallon size, and then just do what I do with this one, which is every few years do a little root prune on it, repot it, and give it fresh mix. But eventually, sometime soon, this is going to outgrow the roof in the garage, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Same is true, of course, for the foxtail. But the foxtails, they're just easier in the house than the Arecas are. So I'll be able to have this for a long time without it being that big of a deal. Look at it, even with the fan and all the gunk around. That's still beautiful. It's perfect for this spot, isn't it? It's far enough from the grill that's not going to be in anybody's face when they're using the grill. And I tried to position it so the fronds weren't too close to the heat coming off the grill, which is nice. The Chinese fan palms, I've tried them in this spot before because they also can go sun or shade. This is getting more sun than it used to in this spot because that maple tree had a lot of limb loss several years ago. So it'll still be getting plenty of sun, but not as much as the Areca over there. I also think it's perfect because this spot is A little bit more shady. The shade garden's just right over the way, the way being the grill over there. And you have that nice white on the trunks, that white powder. So it stands out and it contrasts very, very nicely. If I had another Areca palm over there, it would stay pretty green because I don't think there's quite enough sun over there to get the nice golden color that they get when they're in the full sun. Oh yeah, I love this. It's great. It's perfect. It'll look even better when that fan's not there. Almost just, neighbor came right out their door right as I was filming it. That's awkward. So that's why I'm saying I want those freaking trees to grow up and get bigger over there. It does need a repot, but that's going to have to wait because all my soil is just sopping wet. I thought about putting a tarp over it the other day, but I don't know what the point is because the bags are wet. I shouldn't put a tarp over them. So yeah, maybe in a couple days we'll get that repotted. I know, don't give me any trouble with it. Trouble, trying so hard to not swear. Listen, here's the deal. I needed a nice big space to set everything. One, it's been raining a lot, so kind of wanted to just scoot some of these plants out from the rain. That, and they were on the ground over here. Yeah, I couldn't take it anymore. It had to get done. Sorry for not filming it better, but you know, there's some video here of the power. It's satisfying, I think, for the most part. You get to see all the grime and stuff getting scooped up. There are still some nooks and crannies and some spaces that could use some more attention, but it was very quick. So it was 6:15 in the evening. I really don't like using the power washer after 5-ish because it's so incredibly loud. I feel like it's rude. So it was one of those things was to just kind of do it very quickly and did it very quickly. It's not the most thorough job. And I'm actually okay with that. When this patio, the colorant that they put on it last year, if it's not slightly dirty, it is blinding, like painfully blinding on the eyes. So I like to keep it seasoned, you could say. Doesn't this look better? I mean, it's not just that it's clean from the mud, but I just really like not having stuff on the ground over here. Like it even more when the top up here is open between these planters, but that's just something that takes time. I would like to get these guys planted up. I mentioned though I want to wait on that new drill getting, actually no, I'm not waiting on the new drill anymore, as there's a whole lot to tell there, and it probably should just wait for another video because we're far enough into this one to start off too much. But somebody gifted me that drill as a birthday gift, which blows my mind. I'm so grateful. And they got me an extra battery and extra charger, the extended life battery. Extravagant. My mind was blown by that. So the one that I had ordered, I was able to cancel it. It hadn't even shipped yet. So I could get going on that. I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you real quick. But first I want to talk about what I would like to do to finish things up. As I mentioned, I'm going to hold off on the heliconias. I don't think that I should be doing anything with them right now other than making sure they stay moist and just, I don't know. I don't know what they want. I assume what they want is warmth. That's the most logical thing to me. There's no odors, so it's not a root rot situation. I think that they're just curled up because they're protecting themselves from the very strong sun. Is incredibly strong this time of year, and the drier air, the humidity hasn't been that strong yet because it's usually when it's below 80 here, the humidity is usually not very high, maybe 50 to 60% at the most, and they like things warm to take up water, so they're in shutdown mode. That's all going to wait. This though, I'm just crazy about it. I'm obsessed. I love it. It was so pretty last night. I didn't mention it's the next day. It's the next day from when I first showed you all this. It stands out so great in the dark. I need to put some little low voltage lights in there, some solar powered ones. And so it's got to be lit up at night because those white trunks, it just looks so pretty. But first, more importantly, what did I do with it? There it is. Pot. I need to bump this up into a larger container. You saw how small that is, right? That's pathetic. So I'm gonna dig through my potting mix, see if I can find a mix that's not saturated and wet. And if I don't, that's okay, because I would like to very quickly, I don't have a lot of time today, so this has to be brief, but I would like to go up to Ace, because it's the closest place to me, Ace Hardware. It's the closest place to me that sells plants. So that's where I'm gonna pop up and just see if they have some nice annuals. I'm thinking maybe some begonias. I really like the way this variegated ground cover looks in here, but I just feel like that's an odd thing to underplant the foxtail with. It would be nice because the plants themselves don't match. They're both multi-trunks, but they don't match. I mean, it's better than when I've had like just random hibiscus or Chinese fan palms over here. You know, they're cousins, right? But not twins. You get it. If whatever's coming over the front of the containers would match, but this palm has grown so much, rooted in there so well, that I can't really put a lot of annuals in the front of this container anymore. So I may just need to abandon that idea and just have fun with it and just let it go that they're not going to match perfectly. Also, this side does not get as much sun, so I'm thinking, you know, some begonias and maybe New Guinea impatiens. I don't know, it's ace. The ace that is near my house, they have it's like a 12 by 12 foot tent with plants under it. It's very limited, but I can usually find some good stuff there. They may not need to match. It would be nice if I could just have one thing and then it matches. Like I said, maybe I'll grab a begonia, something like that. Ideally, I would like to put an alfalfa, one of these guys, in the front of each one, but I needed 2 of these for the Miami planters, and I got 1 to put right here. So I'm short 1. Maybe they'll have those. I doubt it, but who knows. So yeah, I'm gonna dig through, see if I have enough dry mix to use in that container right there, and if I don't, it's okay. I'm gonna run to Ace, grab some annuals, and just pick up some soil there. Foxtails aren't that picky, and I'll of course be adding some compost and stuff to the mix to liven up whatever it is they might have. All right, I think these are okay. They're damp, but they aren't sopping wet. You know, you can feel when a bag is just muddy and clumpy. I wouldn't want to use that. These will be okay. This one did have a centipede on it though, which means it's been touched by the devil, and I don't know if I want to use it. Centipedes, they're the only insect. I appreciate them. I think they're really cool. But when I see them, I'm like, no, don't have time for that. The bites, the stings, it's just awful from them. And they'll go after you too, which I respect. But when I see them, just, go away. I'm not like that when I'm outside, because I'm like, in their territory, right? Anyways, that's another point. Neither here nor there is what I meant to say. 2 bags, that'll be more than enough. Maybe enough to get a few other things repotted too. I don't know. I want to focus on the task at hand first. All right, I know this is wonky, but with the new microphone and the new camera, I should probably test this out on the road. One of the issues I had with the other camera and the other microphone is that if the air conditioner was on, the audio was horrid, or if a window is cracked, and that's gonna mess up most microphones. There's just a lot of road noise, so I'm curious to see what the road noise is going to be like with all this, and I'm just using y'all for the ride. One thing I have noticed is that this camera is way too big for the window mount tripod, so gonna have to get a new one of those. That's why the angle right here is all wonky and weird looking. I also remembered that just down the street from this Ace Hardware, there is a family-owned nursery that I have shopped at for as long as I can remember. They're family now. They were a family-run nursery, and then they became a chain for a little while, and now they're emancipated from that. I don't know what happened, but I'm pretty sure they're back to being locally owned. Regardless, it was a Summer Winds, which is a chain. Originally, it was Timber Creek, and then it was Timber Winds, and then it was Summer Winds, and now I think it's Timber Winds. I just can't keep up. It's been there have been so many names over the many years. But they usually have a great selection. They don't, I mean, I haven't been there yet this year, but they don't carry Proven Winners plants, which is a bummer when it comes to annuals, because Proven Winners, they have some pretty spectacular annuals. They do, I think, the bulk of everything through ball seed, which is wonderful. Ball is fantastic. That's where I first saw those, the Hula Pink and the various Hula begonias, the trailing ones. They have a lot of really great annuals. They just don't get the same kind of marketing that Proven Winners does with their stuff, and so you don't always know about it. So there's usually some good finds there. I also think that if I were going to find a hanging basket of the the chenille plant things, had a brain fart there, it's more than likely going to be here. And it would be nice to get a hanging basket of those and just divide them up, as opposed to trying to find another little 4-inch annual. Okay, now it's Timber Winds. I don't So it was Timber Creek, and then I don't remember. I can't keep up. But now it's called Timberwinds. It's a great place. I haven't been here yet this year. Wow, they really sold out of a lot of pottery already. Or maybe they haven't gotten in new pottery. I'm not sure. I need to stay away from the pottery. Wow, this place is packed. That's great. It's Mother's Day weekend. I'm not surprised by that. All right. This is exciting. Mother's Day weekend. Always the best time to hit up the nurseries. Oh, that's cute. Look at the little Areca palm. That's what I was talking about earlier. That's just what Arecas tend to look like up here. Teeny tiny little guys. Not here for bonsais. Not here for bonsais. I'm also probably going to be whispering a lot because I'm surprised by this, but for some reason I'm more self-conscious wearing a mic in public. That's weird. That's very pretty. When I said more self-conscious with microphone, I mean, I don't usually wear a mic in public, so I just kind of hold my phone up to my face and it kind of looks like maybe I'm making voice memos or something. Can't do that with the microphone on. So there probably won't be a ton of talking. There may not even actually be too much to look at here because they're really crowded and I just do not like to film other people. You know, a quick snapshot by mistake is one thing, but to just blatantly record other people who are out shopping, I think it's incredibly rude. There's proven winners, perennials. I feel like they've sold perennials. It's just the annuals typically that they don't have from proven winners. I wanted y'all to see. I'm not in the market for it, but this place is always just riddled with beautiful Japanese maples. And the way they set them up, I think it looks so nice, doesn't it? Look at these. Look at these Briggs Moonlight Daphne. These are big. Very, very, very big. Don't see the Daphnes that size in this area all that often. I don't know why I'm going down here. I don't need any of these things, but let's have a quick stroll. Paniculatas, limelight primes. I see some oak leaves back here. I love the oak leaves. They have so much texture to them. Really pretty. The only reason I haven't planted them is just because I feel like they wouldn't look right in my garden. Maybe too woodlandy, and then when I have I think it'd look great when the tropicals aren't out, but then when the tropicals are out, I think it just wouldn't pair well with everything. Okay, found a few things, just, expected, right? I found exactly what I was hoping to find. A hanging basket of Calfa. Perfect. And then lots of other things. We'll talk about when we get back to the house. So I did cut filming short because the front of the nursery was just a lot more crowded. I know, it's pollen. I can't help it. I'm trying, but you can only wash the car so many times. That was fun. I love that nursery so much. I don't know why I was even thinking go to Ace when Timberwinds right down the street. They have an amazing selection, especially with bonsai. They're pretty much the only place that I know of in the area that has a selection, a very good selection too. They have supplies, they have starters, they have some that are already done and they're beautiful. Otherwise, I mean, some nurseries have some already made bonsais, and sometimes they'll have a section with some miniatures, but it's just not the same. Also, one of you asked if I had a YouTube channel while I was in there. If you're watching this video, hi. Sorry if I seemed rude. I don't know. I have this tendency when people ask me if I have a YouTube channel and they recognize me, I go, nope, don't know what you're talking about. And I try and do it with a smile on my face to know that, make sure they know I'm joking. I'm always like, gosh, that's not the right way to handle that at all. Like, in my head, it's a joke, kind of playing off that I don't show my face that often. I was going to film with my face today, and I looked in the mirror and said, nope, not happening, not today. But then it really, not everybody's in on the joke, so it may just come off as incredibly rude. These need to stay over here. These got to go in the shade. These are podophyllums that I'm not going to put into the ground until I have the irrigation set up in the area where I want them to go, right? I think one of the issues last year is that area, it's under a maple tree, which, they take up a lot of water. So maybe that was part of it. And it's a new area too. I'm still building that soil up. So perhaps it wasn't time yet. And they were planted very late in the season. That probably had a lot to do with them not returning this year. I mean, they still could. Maybe they're just late to come back. I don't know. I don't recall them ever coming back late with other people I planted them for. But we'll see. Anyways, Gonna get this guy repotted. I do think that it would probably be smart. Oh, this is surprisingly heavy for being a very small container. Here we go. Trying to be gentle with it. That I should stick this in here and make sure it fits first. Well, I think I can make that work. I've got trailers here to go over the edge, but I have filler in the bottom, so I take some of that out. It should sink down further. I'm pretty sure it's the same container that I used for the hibiscus last year, isn't it? I pulled the filler out, and I think that's about as good as that's going to get. It's a pretty big gap, but it just is what it is. I have a container that's just a smidge smaller than this one, but it's very flimsy, and I don't know, I really prefer these nice, thick, rolled rim containers, so that's what I'm going to use. I think there's enough trailer right here to help cover all that up. I was just going to use a sliver of that, but I think I'm probably now just going to load this whole thing up. All right, I'm going to skip through the mundane, monotonous stuff, like, you know, putting soil and the plant in the container, because I'm in a hurry. Oh, wasn't even recording all that. Well, I'm just saying it's actually surprisingly not all that root bound, but I'm going to take a hory to the bottom of it to loosen things up. I should have grabbed the hory before I picked this thing up. Now I have a camera in my hands and a 6-foot palm tree. Okay, just like this. So I just took the knife. Can't see my viewfinder, it's too sunny. And I came in and did this very lightly, and go in, give it a twist, trying to lift those roots up and out. Don't want it to be flat down there. Needs some dimension. The main thing is that they aren't swirling, right? That's what you got to worry about. They aren't swirling, which I'm absolutely shocked by. I was kind of thinking that this was going to be a nightmare, but that's not too bad. Anticipating having to come in here and do all kinds of craziness to get that root ball loosened up. No, not too bad. I'm gonna make sure I have this at the right direction. I'm picky about those things. Start backfilling and can look at all the fun stuff I got and get it planted up. Oh, and as usual, my ideas of plants to put in a pot are always bigger than my pot. But you can usually make it work. So I found the most beautiful dragon wing begonias in there. The color on them is just more vibrant and intense than what I'm used to seeing. And that, you know, there's a lot of potential for that to change because different growing environment from the growers and everything. But the pink on these and the sparkle on the outer side of the petals, really, I feel like the peduncles even are more vibrant. I don't know. They were just speaking to me. So naturally, since they were speaking to me, I went ahead and grabbed, I don't know, what, maybe 6? Not with the intention of putting them all in this container. I have some other spots where I would like to put them. Here's where things get more iffy with me. These are New Guinea impatiens. And if you've been watching the channel for some time, you probably know that I just suck at growing New Guinea impatiens. We don't jive well together. So I thought, well, let's give those a try. You tend to kill them. Go ahead and buy some more. Why not? The colors just, they go nicely together. I think the pink up here with that softer apricot. What was the name on that one? Did I show it to you? I did. I'm pretty sure I did, just in case. Go over it again. The Harmony Apricot Cream. This container is going to get a good amount of morning sun, and it will be shaded from probably, I'm going to guess about 2 p.m. and on throughout the day. It's going to get some shade in the morning too, so it's not going to be full on morning sun, but they should get hit with sun from, I'd say, 10 a.m. to 2, and then filtered light for a few hours, and then shade. So hopefully that'll be good for them. I think one of the issues is that I always stick them in way too much shade. And I'm pretty sure they can take a lot more sun than we give them credit for. And sometimes when I buy them, if they've been potted up in a peaty mix, then they really don't do well for me. Sometimes they're just in a straight up peat. And I don't know, they just don't transplant well. This is a Crossandra, and it's not going to fit in here, but I thought I'd show it to you anyways because it's a very unusual Crossandra because it has a pendulous inflorescence on it. Usually they're more stiff and upright. They stick up, but these they dangle. And the tag just says Crossandra. It says orange Crossandra, so I don't know if it has something to do with its growing conditions, or maybe it will keep doing that, but I thought it was neat, and I, for some reason, thought it would fit in here. Wouldn't it be beautiful if it would? I think that would be gorgeous, but I don't... it seems unlikely. Well, there's a well there. Where there's a well, there's a way. There were 2 plants in here, so just went ahead and unpotted them completely and combed out the roots. Downside to that is there is going to be a potential for some setback, but it's still so early in the season that I'm not all that worried about that. I think that it should rebound just fine. The begonia that's back here, you can no longer see, will get taller. Much, much, much taller than the Crossandra right here. And you'll have the pink hanging up above these orange flowers. I think that's going to look very, very nice. Just to have that extra color. I'm not going to bother sticking a dragon wing on this side because there's a lot more shade back here. And Crossandras can take a good amount of sun. Usually they do well for me with some afternoon shade. And they'll flower for me pretty well with more shade than the sun. So I'm not concerned about that, about them not getting enough sun. I think they'll be just fine right there. Now I'm going to tear apart the alfalfa and start squeezing that in. All right. I like it. The alfalfa is going to look like a hot mess for a while. They throw a fit when you pull at their roots, but they always rebound for me. Just need to keep them nice and moist, and if we do have some extremely hot days out of absolutely nowhere within the next month, I may put a little umbrella over them just until they've reestablished themselves. And everything else just needs to come into its own. I did pop a frog in a blender caladium in the back. I don't think there's going to be quite enough sun for it back there. But I had it. It was with this intention. So we'll see what it does. And what I'm really excited for is to see this guy put on some height. When that gets about a foot higher, this whole thing's going to look really nice. Oh, I forgot to straighten out the palm tree. All right, so I'm not quite done. I need to do some shifting. Not much. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. Turned out nice. It will look better. Just got to give it some time. All right, yeah, there's the rest of the begonias. I also got some tuberous types, which all you can see is shadow. I didn't even realize. The tuberous types, which kind of like the New Guineas, don't always do that well with, but I had to. Look at the colors on these. May as well keep trying. This was just labeled as the Nonstop Joy Mix, and this is, I think, Nonstop Fire. Is that what it was? Yeah, Nonstop Fire. Very pretty. Need to keep those in the shade. These will be in shade soon. I was thinking about maybe putting dragon wing begonias over here this year. I'm not going to talk about this too much because it's probably time to wrap things up, but this area is getting more shade than it used to with the growth on the heptacodium here. So I was thinking, maybe right up here, up high, just doing a row of them, because I would like to do hardy begonias here. That's more of an investment though. So I thought, hey, let's grab the annual type this year, give them a go, see how they do, and then try the perennial kind. Also got the pack of stackies to put it over here underneath the hydrangea trees. Oh, is that a bird? Is there a bird directly above my head? I don't know. I think there might be. I'm gonna back off. There is a bird's nest up there. I just looked up and there's something looking at me. This is where I like for those to go. I did this last year, thought it was phenomenal. I'm gonna do it again. I know that things can get repetitive, but it was the first time I'd ever tried that, and they were so pretty. They lit things up, they had a nice contrast. The hummingbirds loved them. This, in addition to the giant flower heads on the strawberry vanilla hydrangeas, just had the pollinators all over the place over here. And they had them. And I said, it's Friday of Mother's Day weekend. I had to go ahead and get them and not hope that I could find them later, because I haven't really seen these around much this year. And they have a great price on them too at this nursery. These great big guys, I think they were 13. And that's really good. Other places I've gotten them for, they're a little bit more than that and maybe a third the size. So had to snatch those up. And then here's where I'm leaving things off. Little teaser for some video to come. The beautiful new drill. I love this. I love it so much. But I don't actually have time today to do the planting. So I'm going to disassemble this, take it inside. I know I've mentioned that family coming in town for the last several days or many minutes of this video. They will be here in like 2.5 hours. I still have so many things to do to prepare the guest room and get ready for that. So thanks for hanging out. I feel good about everything that's gotten done this week, especially with the amount of rain that we had and not being able to be out here all that much. That's partially because I started filming a week before this week. Been doing that just in case we have the bad weather. Oh, and I only had to use half the alfalfa. The other half I potted up and it already fell over. I love having this open too. I'm going to clean all that up, don't worry. Hopefully the heliconias will rebound. If not, there's more coming in, and I'm going to take the new ones and put them in the shade as soon as they come in. It's just nice. Things are looking clean. The new palm tree is just so beautiful. I absolutely love it. Maybe from back here you can see the vision a little bit more. There's going to be the hints of oranges and the apricot with what should be a nice begonia coming up above everything, dangling around the wind with that alfalfa coming down the front. And you really cannot see that container sticking up with that alfalfa in there. It's covering up pretty well. Doing a good job. All right. I said, thanks for hanging out. Hope everybody's doing well, having a great day, a great life. Everything's going absolutely beautifully for you. Happy Mother's Day. And as always, and most importantly, everybody, keep on growing. Bye-bye.